Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back into the video today. And today, the Houston Texans have released their unofficial depth chart for the first preseason game against the Chicago Bears in the Hall of Fame game. Let's go over what the unofficial depth chart looks like for the Houston Texans. So here we go. We're going to go over the offense first. So first team, second team, third team, fourth team. Let's get into it. So first team, you have C.J. Stroud at quarterback, of course, running back, Joe Mixon. You're not going to see any surprise in the first team. So Joe Mixon at running back, Andrew Beck at fullback, Tank Dell, Stephon Diggs, and Nico Collins at wide receiver. Funny enough, they have they have Tank Dell listed as the first wide receiver, then Diggs number 2, and Nico Collins number 3. Dalton Schultz, tight end, left tackle, Laramie Tunsil, left guard, Kenyon Green, center, Juice Scruggs, right guard, Shaq Mates, and right tackle, Titus Howard. So there's no surprises there. Second team, you got Davis Mills at quarterback, Damian Pierce at running back, Troy Harrison at fullback, John Mechie the third at wide receiver. The other wide receivers, Robert Woods and Noah Brown. So, look, I don't think that John Mechie or Robert Woods are going to get more playing time than Noah Brown, but those two guys are listed over Noah Brown. Brevin Jordan at tight end, and then the offensive line for the second team, Blake Fisher, rookie at left tackle, Kendrick Green at left guard, Jarrett Patterson at center, Dieter Elson at right guard, and Charlie Heck at right tackle. This third team, Case Keenum at quarterback, Dare Ungabalowe at running back. Interesting that he is over Jawar Jordan and Cam Akers on the third team. No fullback, of course. Wide receivers are Ben Skowronek, Steven Sims, and Xavier Hutchinson. Tight end is Cade Stover, the rookie fourth-round pick. The offensive line is left tackle David Sharp, left guard Jalen Thomas, center Chris Reed, and right guard Nick Broker, no right tackle. Then the fourth team is a little bit shorter than the third or the second team. Quarterback is Tim Boyle. There's a list of running backs: Jawar Jordan, Cam Akers, J.J. Taylor, British Brooks. No fullback. Wide receivers are Johnny Johnson III, Quintez Cephas, Jaden Yankee, and there's two tight ends, Tikun Quantanaro and Dalton Keene, and there's only one offensive lineman, and that is left tackle Killian Zier. So that is it for the Houston Texans unofficial depth chart. It is game week. It is Monday, first day of the week. So you know what that means? That means there is Texans football this week. I don't think you're going to see. Look, I would be surprised if you see anyone from the first team that I mentioned: C.J. Stroud, Joe Mixon, Andrew Beck, Tank Dell, Stephon Diggs, Nico Collins, Dalton Schultz. Everybody from the offensive line: Tunsil, Green, Scruggs, Mason, Howard. I'd be surprised if you see anyone on that list from the first team, on Thursday against the Bears. But I think there's a lot of interesting guys that you could see on the second team. Davis Mills very well could be starting. Damian Pierce, I don't know if it's likely that we might see Damian Pierce in the game on Thursday. Maybe we do. But Joe Mixon has been injured recently, so I don't know if with Joe Mixon injured, the number one running back is kind of Damian Pierce, so I don't know if the Texans want to potentially put him out there if he might be the running back one currently until Joe Mixon is healthy. Fullback Troy Harrison you'll probably see. Out of the wide receivers, I don't think we'll see Noah Brown, but we'll see John Mechie and Robert Woods, if you ask me. We might see Brevin Jordan. I think everybody on the offensive line from the second team you will most likely see. So still some interesting players that you will see from this offense from the second team. I don't think anyone from the first, though, but it would shock me. Now let's get to this defense. For the defense, it does go all the way to the fourth team. But let's go over what the first team looks like. At defensive end, you have Willie Anderson. At your defensive tackles, you have Mario Edwards Jr. and Foley Fotokoski. Mario Edwards Jr. joins the first team with the suspension of Danico Autry. Your other defensive end is Daniel Hunter. The linebackers are Aziz Al-Shahir, Christian Harris, and Henry To'o. The corners are Kamari Lassiter and Derek Stingley Jr. The nickel is Desmond King II, and your two safeties are Jalen Petrie and Jimmy Ward. Now, the second team, defensive end Derek Barnett. Defensive tackles are Tim Settle Jr. and Khalil Davis. Defensive end is listed as Danico Autry. but he is suspended for the first 6 games. But hey, that doesn't mean that he can't play in the preseason, because he will still play in the preseason even though he's suspended. The linebackers are Novelli Hewitt, Jake Hansen, and Delshawn Phillips. The corners are C.J. Henderson and Jeff Okudah. The nickel is Miles Bryant, and the safeties are Kalen Bullock and Eric Murray. Let's get to the third team. Defensive end is Jerry Hughes. Defensive tackles are Kurt Heinisch and McTelvin Agem. Defensive end is Dylan Horton. The linebackers are Jamal Hill, Jacob Phillips, and Tariq Barnes, who's an undrafted free agent. The corners are Chris Boyd and Mike Ford Jr. No nickel. Safeties are MJ Stewart and Lonnie Johnson Jr. Now let's get into the fourth team. In the fourth team, defensive end Ali Gay. Defensive tackle Marcus Harris. There is not another defensive tackle. There are two other defensive ends though. Solomon Bird and Malik Fisher. Only one linebacker out of 3, Max Tooley, and 2 cornerbacks with Troy Pride Jr. and D'Angelo Ross, and only 1 safety at Brandon Hill. So that wraps up this Texans unofficial depth chart going into week 1 of the preseason against the Chicago Bears for the Hall of Fame game. I'm excited that Texans football is back this week. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and peace out. Go Texans.